What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Knives of the Round Table. My name's Marco, and today I'm doing just a small video. This shouldn't take very long at all. And this is how I treat my sheaths for protecting them from the elements, right? I really like leather sheaths. I hate Kydex sheaths. Whenever I'm able to, I get a leather sheath for my knife. But usually they come untreated. They come as you see it here. Some of the sites like DLT Trading, you can add for an additional price, you can add the treatment. But I found that the treatment is very easy and is very effective. And with $10 or $15 that the oil costs, you can do many sheaths. So what am I talking about? So if you see this sheath, this is the Bark River Iron River. This is one of my kind of latest acquisitions. And you see the sheath this is the Chris Rivniala. So these two started at the same hue. Basically, they look the same brown color. And in fact, this one probably requires a refresh on its treatment. So this one's the cub, and this one I did much more recently. So you can see this one's much darker, this one's a little lighter, and this one absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna kind of show you kind of what I do. Again, this is my opinion. This is advice. Take it or leave it. It's held out. The sheets they work out really well. And what I usually do is I do the treatment and then I insert the knife in, and that way the leather kind of takes the shape of the knife with the kind of humidity or the moisture from the oil, you know, and then it's really great. But so let me show you kind of what I use. So this one is called Obanoff's Leather Oil, natural preserving oil, beeswax, and porpoise. And this one I think I bought at Bass Pro Shops, and they sell it in a lot of places. I think you can find it at Amazon. I bought it at Bass Pro Shops, and it's in their shoe department. Okay, this because you can use it to treat kind of boot leather type thing. And I've had this, I don't know, 5 years, and I've done a lot of sheets, and I still got some. So like I said, you buy one of these and it'll last you for a long time. So what I'll do is I'll get the knife out of the sheath just to do the initial kind of passes through here. And once I'm done, I'll put the knife in just so that the leather kind of gets the shape of that knife. So this thing comes with this kind of applicator kind of thing. It's a lot of oil, so I usually just kind of remove a little bit of it. And then you'll see here, you see the color, right? So basically all we're doing here is painting. And so I'm just gonna go over this whole thing. I'm gonna put some napkins here down just so that I don't, so that I can lay it down. I usually don't forget the sides. The sides are gonna be really thirsty. Okay, this is for you woodworkers out there. This is the equivalent to end grain. Okay, so it's really thirsty, and you can see, you know, you pass it and then immediately it's absorbed into the leather. Okay, so this is gonna require a couple of passes. So what I do is I go once over the whole thing. I'll get a little bit more of this, and you know, don't worry. I'm not gonna say that it's impossible for you to overdo it, but it's really hard for you to overdo it. Okay, so here you go. We don't want to have the Achilles heel, right? So as you can see, I'm doing here the back of the sheath, but if you go to the front, a lot of it has already absorbed, right? So like I said, I usually do 2, sometimes 3 passes. And while I can't really get into the sheath, I usually do like to do this this top portion of the sheath, and that's just if the knife is in the sheath and it might get wet. This is the portion that could get wet, right? So I don't really try and go like all the way in, but just right here, kind of at the mouth of the sheath, and you can see here there's some portion that still looks wet, but most of it it looks like it's already absorbed. So let's get a little bit more oil, and we'll do kind of a second pass of this. And you can see now it's a really dark, rich brown color already. I'm sure there's other oils, I'm sure there's other treatments that you could use, okay? I'm telling you one that is fairly inexpensive and it's very effective. I've used it for years without any problem. Your sheaths will remain very, very, very protected. The one in Diniala, I want to say I did probably 3 or 4 years ago. So I don't do the reapplication often. Okay, I'm talking. Obviously, depends on how much you use it, how much you've exposed it to rain or stuff like that. Obviously, but for me, for my uses, and with the number of knives that I have, it's once every 3-4 years maybe. So that's what we have here. Now I've applied a kind of a fairly heavy coat, and then I've applied a fairly heavy second coat, and now we wait a little bit until just it absorbs a little bit into the leather. So you'll see it'll start. It keeps on absorbing. And you could theoretically, if you do kind of like maybe 4 passes, it could get absorbed all the way from the exterior face to the interior face. You really don't want to do that, just because you're going to be putting your knife in there, and while the oil doesn't do anything, it might make it gummy, So you don't want that. What you want is to have enough to create a good oil leather on the exterior of the knife, on the exterior of the sheath. And as you can see here now, we're pretty much all absorbed in. And so at this point, what I do is I do insert the knife back, right? And so what you can see, hopefully you can see it here, this little bulge, it'll hug the knife. It'll hug the knife and it'll make it very secure. They're already fairly secure sheaths, right? But with the treatment of the leather, because you kind of got it, let's call it, I'm going to say wet with oil, right? Condition maybe is a better word. So that's kind of where how I finish it here. And what I'll do is I'll wait, for an hour or two. And I'll come back and take a look and see if that was enough, right? If I see any kind of drier spots or stuff like that, I might go over it a second time. But now you're gonna see, so that's the one that I've done the most recent, right now. This is the one that I showed you before, right? And that's the Nyala. So you can see, from the lightest to the absolutely darkest, right? This is far darker than any of those two, right? And it's because I just applied the thing. So I think the sheath for the Nyala needs a little bit of a refresher. But that's how I do it. That's how I protect my sheaths. I think the color is much better. I don't like that kind of orange tan look of leather. I much like this kind of darker, richer brown. So guys, this is a short one. This is just what I do. Again, if you want to write it down, it's Obanoff's leather oil. Open off leather oil. Let me know if you have any questions. If it's helpful, then like and subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, take care.